So my name is Douglas James Vail. I'm the filmmaker for Peace River. I shot, directed, and edited this film. I worked with Benjamin Jones, the writer of the film. We shot it in October 2020, and now here in June 2021, we're getting very close to a final product. We expect the commercial release somewhere in later 2021. And yeah, that's Peace River. Well, specifically, production was an enormous challenge. We shot in 2020, so we know what kind of year that was. It's very difficult to really coordinate and work with a lot of people because of all the precautions, all the health code requirements. So I would say probably the largest challenge we actually had was just the health, safety, and security of our cast and crew during that time. When it came to actually funding the film, of course, that's its own journey as well. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in laying the groundwork to petition a vision and a clarity in terms of what you're trying to make. So it took us about 7 months to really get to a point in which we were able to reasonably make a film with the resources and money that we had that were made available through a series of investors. So that process was obviously a big challenge. And then, of course, dealing with COVID-19. Those two things made this experience almost impossible, but we did manage to pull through, thank God. My first motion picture is called 40, The Temptation of Christ. In 2019, I joined up with the International Christian Film Festival in Orlando, Florida. It was my first time attending. And I was actually really late to the party in terms of joining up with the festival. And what I mean by that is I wasn't part of the competition. I wasn't able to participate in that way, but I called the festival anyway, and I said, is there any chance I could bring my feature film to your festival to screen it? And they actually made some allowances for me to actually just screen the film. So they gave me an auditorium in a really great location, and on the day of the screening, doors wide open, I did the best I could to invite as many people in, and what happened is Benjamin M. Jones came into my screening. He was there in Orlando. He had a screenplay that he wanted to get made into a feature film, and he was looking for a filmmaker. And he actually accidentally walked into my film, true story, sat there, started to watch it, didn't realize this is the movie that he was expecting to see, but stayed. Obviously, he was captured by what we were doing in that movie, 40, The Temptation of Christ, and he stayed to the very end. Had a really strong response to it and insisted on meeting with me in the hallway afterwards. That was the beginning of our relationship. So Benjamin essentially approached me with his material, Peace River, and here we are just 2 years later from the day that we met at that festival with a full-length feature film. I mean, everything that you want to learn about this movie is going to be made available at peacerivermovie.com. We do recommend that most people subscribe because we do e-blasts and communications about where they can see the film, information, kind of intimate details about the production or where we are in the process. So definitely going to the website and subscribing is probably the best way to have a hands-on sort of exposure to the film during this process.